Starting the stream. Guys, what's up? Breaking news today on the Stronghold episode 5. We got the release of two new character arts, I'll say for right now, because that's really all we got. Two new character arts. And this was made aware to me by my co-host and the host with the most, that dad. What's up, man?
What's up, Killa Killa? What's up, everyone?
Man, the first this artwork looks great, and I want to shout out Violence who said, "What are you doing? Making your own characters now, Killa?" And as he was looking at the looks like a voodoo lady, and then we also have this ghostly. I guess that would be like a British style, admiral style captain or attire soldier for the pirate. Very interesting these two. Um, it's reminiscing of a movie we've all seen, which is Pirates of the Caribbean 3, I think it was.
Yeah, I mean, we've always kind of confirmed that Kestrel is essentially Captain Jack,
So Kestrel's
right?
Captain Jack. Yeah, okay, yes, yes.
Sargosa is Sargosa,
Right, okay. Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. I didn't put that
Yeah.
together
So,
until just now. Like I just put that together. Like Sargosa. Yeah.
oh, that's great, man. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, man.
So, and now we have who we think is going to be. What's her name again?
Calypso, the god of the sea,
Cal-
Calypso.
Calypso,
All right, we got
right?
Calypso.
The voodoo lady.
And then I guess this.
Um,
Yeah, go ahead.
this really interesting looking ice ghost pirate thing.
I think he's more like you know how they were running from the European Britain or the English or the Spanish Armada. Maybe he's part of the Armada or part of the British Navy. He's a navyman. That's it. He's in the Navy. He's in the European Navy
Yeah,
GAR.
he's definitely in the navy to combat these other pirates. Not
Yes.
that they need much combating.
So he's the villain. He's probably the villain of the
Yeah.
rest of them.
So before we delve into these heroes and get into theory, let's go into what we know about this first. Let's get the facts straight before we delve into just fun theory of what we want to see these heroes do. So, SG, this morning, I have their Twitter on notification, and they came out with out of the blue news.
Yeah.
Hang on one sec. They came out with out of the blue news that they were going to be postponing Pirates until next month. So Pirates is not going to be this week, guys.
Womp 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 womp.
Now, you could make that sound, but they're sending us Wonderland.
Hey.
Boom. So
Boom.
the last two podcasts, we've been saying, hold your stuff. Don't
Yes. Don't.
pull.
Right.
Don't pull. No, go get your Hatter. Go get your Queen. Go get your Reindeer right now. This weekend. Wonderland is coming, guys. There's all the more reason to pull. And guess what? Next month, Pirates is going to come back. And it makes total sense because Pirates is their worst event banner that they're going to bring two new, hopefully exciting heroes to that banner next month. And so that's completely out of the blue, last minute decision. It seems like made by SG.
Piggybacking on what you said, being that Pirates was lackluster, I think we ranked Pirates off cast, off stream, and we said that the 4 star was actually probably one of the better out of the Pirates, which was Peters. Then it went Captain
Mm-hmm.
Kestrel. Then it's probably going to be, I guess it'd be Sargoso, Lady Locke, and then Boomer. Well, the nice thing about Wonderlands is they're actually in order. Queen of Hearts is probably the prize out of the Wonderland, and she's a 5 star. I would say Hatter would be a close second, if not first, for the 5 star. Alice has pretty good mechanics being a blue sniper. Now she's not anything special being a blue sniper, but she is technically better than Cheshire Cat and uh, Captain Diamond. Cheshire Cat being probably one of the top 4 stars in my opinion, but he's still in that fourth spot with Captain Diamond being in the fifth spot. So if you're going to pull on Wonderland, you're getting heroes progressively better. As you get the 4 stars first, and then you happen to get a 5 star or all the 5 stars, you're getting better heroes as you go along in the pulls.
Hmm.
Versus
Yeah,
Pirates,
and
not that
mhm.
wasn't the case.
Yeah, and so going on to Heroes of Wonderland real quick. These new heroes are not for Wonderland. Again, these are for pirates. They're pirate heroes.
They are pirate
So
heroes.
Wonderland is not getting any new heroes at the moment.
No.
Um, so, but again, this will give you guys that much more time to work on your Captain of Diamonds, the Captain of D, to get him ready for your Christmas event. If you don't have Gobbler, but you probably want both anyways,
Yes.
because when you're going against Santa, you're not going to want to take your Gobbler.
No.
So the Captain of Diamonds will be really important to make that Christmas event much easier to beat on the harder levels. And of course, Queen of Hearts is an absolute amazing flank.
Yes.
Um, she has tanky stats, and that just goes on to us saying that the flanks are getting stronger. Queen of Hearts, tank stats, better flank.
Another thing,
So,
guys, if you're preparing for the event to try to make a strike or whatever, it kind of, my negative condensation with this change of events is that I was prepared for a purple shield down or purple shield. Instead, I have to re-prepare myself in less than a week
mhm.
for a green shield down. Now, the nice thing is it's probably one of the more sought after events, so it was a great event to switch it to. Like if they switched this to Tal Talk, if they'd have switched this to any other event, I'd been really mad because I've already rolled on those events twice, being a newer player, and then for my older players, I'm sure it's like their fourth and third time seeing these things. So being a newer player, you're getting the newer event. Wonderland's coming. Prepare for your green shield. Get your red rare game up. Get your epic rare game up, and your legendary. And with that said, I'm going to start leveling my Zim Kythus so I do have that little extra attack power when it goes to that legendary part of the event. Um, what else was I going to say about them switching events? The other thing we know, I guess, coming with these two heroes, or we have, I guess, come to conclusion is we think these two heroes are possibly going to be blue and yellow. So maybe this means for the rollout for the next events, they will cover the gaps of the elements that they're missing, which we're really thinking that's a possibility, and I like that. Did you want to?
Now,
Yeah,
yeah, so that's all the stuff that we know.
right.
But we just don't know for sure if she is going to be purple or yellow
Yeah,
or if he is going to be blue. But
she's in the
we're
air
pretty
because she
sure,
could be.
yeah.
She has a yellow snake, but she has purple attire on with a lot of gold
Uh,
features. But who knows?
so, guys, again, last thing Pirates is canceled for this month.
Yep,
Lackluster banner is probably going to be worthwhile pulling on next month,
yep,
especially with a really great hero of the month coming out. And so Wonderland is going to be coming this weekend. If you're saving, like we advised, towards the end of the month towards Sands, and you want to pull on Wonderland, uh, great time to go for it. Great time to get your reindeer, and then that gives you more prep time to get your reindeer up to 70 or 80, depending on your player level, before the next Pirates event.
yes it does. Yes it does.
Um, so there's the factual news that we know. And now, guys, this is News and Theory channel podcast,
Yes it
the
is.
show. So we're gonna have fun for the rest of the episode, and we're gonna break down these two heroes. Kill is gonna give what he wants. I'm gonna give what I want, what we expect. We've kind of talked a little bit about it. I've left a few ideas in my head that I
Nice.
haven't told Killa about,
Okay.
just for the show to kind of surprise you. So,
Mm.
Killa, let's get into this blue guy first.
All right. Okay. So this blue guy looks like a. He looks similar to Captain D. He looks similar to Missandra, where he has that the pointy soldier sword, like a person that's in charge of an army. The general sword, the lieutenant sword. He has the lieutenant sword. So from knowing what we know about these characters, usually they come off to be snipers. Well, Massander does a multi hit. Captain D does a multi hit. So we're associating this sword with a multi-hit animation, but a sniper type player. Um, from him have him possibly being a swordsman. We know with what's her name, the red 5 star
Uh,
Evelyn
Elena.
Elena. He possibly could have a repost. Could possibly have a reflect type ability being with a sword. Um, but that's all what we know. This is a theory show, so this is what I'm going to want from this character. This is what I would like to see. He has a little ghostly mist or whatever, or ice coming off his head. It looks like he has some ice in his skin, his ice in his eyes. I would like to see what would make me for sure purchase this character, would make me for sure roll on this guy, is them introducing something to the blue element that they don't have, and that would be adding a dot. Now, what that dot entails, what that dot would be, um, I believe he possibly is going to be a sniper, and I believe he'll come with the dot. And the dot I think is going to be completely different than other dots, where it's not necessarily damage over time, it's not necessarily a burn or poison, but instead it would be a complete freeze on the hero, where the hero does not receive any mana, does not receive any healing, possibly doesn't receive buffs, but possibly could receive debuffs and damage only, and that would be the blue dot, and it would be covered as freeze. Now, to indulge more, I'm going to go in more about this dot. The reason this makes sense for them to add a blue dot is because of what they're doing with Onatel, what they're doing with Ranveer, and what they're doing with the green hero of the month possibly coming out, having resistance to poison, resistance to blind, and resistance to fire or burn damage. So if they add a new component to the blue and have a new dot for blue, specifically to blue, this kind of goes into the meta that would lead into season 3 and possibly some of the heroes we might be getting out of season 2 going forward, or the blue heroes that they're going to release going forward with the new events coming out with new heroes. Um, Adding a blue dot would be my number one thing I'd want from this hero. That's my first theory and first thoughts of this hero. Um, my second one, I think, was that he would be possibly a 4 star and not necessarily a 5 star. He looks like 5 star animation, but he could be possibly a 4 star. Um, and if that was the case, he would be probably more along the lines of like a baby Massandra or like another blue sniper, which I think would be lackluster. But I guess I'm gonna just stick with my main theory, and hopefully he comes with a dot. I'll pass it off to you, Dad, on this guy.
So I can see a few things. Um, I see your idea of a dot, and anyone who knows science knows that you can get burnt from substances that are very cold,
Yes, you
frozen
can.
substances.
This is true.
I used to work with liquid nitrogen, and that's 321 degrees below zero.
Yeah,
Granted, ice burns don't feel as crappy as burns in a normal kitchen, but it still burns, it still blisters, it can still kill you.
yeah,
So I could see an ice bleed dot, and then that would give their hero of the month, their red hero of the month, the resistance to that.
right,
And then that could be some more meta that they can play on later and more hero of the months in season 3 and stuff like that,
right.
or potentially even other season 2 heroes that they might have on deck. Um, so I definitely see that. I also see, um, like you said, a freeze, which would essentially be a time stop. Except I see it they can't gain mana, um, stuff like that,
Okay,
and along with the snipe. For both of these, along with the snipe, I think that we're both in agreement that he's probably going to be like a sniper, somewhere around 400 to 450 damage. I would assume closer to 400 damage because I think that this guy is potentially going to come with good tech.
right,
So we're hoping for good tech with a good hit. Doesn't have to be full on sniper for 30, 440, 450, anywhere around there. But and fast mana. I think we're both in agreement that this guy would be a fast mana hero.
yes, yeah,
So my assumption is that he is a 5 star. Looking at his character animation, he looks a little bit more flashy
okay,
than your average epic. But event hero epic event heroes do look good. You know, Guardian Falcon is one of my favorite looking heroes in the game. Guardian Jackal looks amazing. I like the Guardians. The Guardians look great.
Yes.
Um, uh, but I mean, you look at Boomer. You look at Peters. There's not too much going on there as far as animation.
No.
Um, and then the other thought is that he is a sniper with um, a repost, properly pronounced repost. Which anyone who doesn't know this, repost is a defensive move in swordsmanship.
Right.
And that's why could also see him kind of that independent contractor like Thoth or like Obicon, where they kind of only serve themselves.
Right.
If it is a repost, or repost, however you want to say it, I would like to see him as fast with the triple hitter.
Hmm. Okay.
If he's only serving himself for repost, then I would like to see him as a fast sniper triple hitter, maybe like Thorn with high attack to the center and then the minor damage to the edges, or maybe like even 350 damage to all three enemies.
Right.
Especially if you have a Frida, Athena, Isarnia, that's just going to be a devastating hit on top of those stacks. So yeah, if he is a repost, I would like to see that. Um, but I could also see uh, something like the Mystic Fog stage in season 2,
Okay.
a special skill like that.
So where he makes the specials miss on like just chance of missing special skills, not necessarily the
Yeah,
dodge. Okay.
along with the snipe, and it would be that towards the one person. But ideally, he would be, in my opinion, either a freeze or a blue dot.
Okay. Okay.
So that would be ideal for me and him.
So
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm not as excited about him as her because most every account that I've seen in this game
yes.
that's at least a year old is blue heavy.
Yes. Yes,
There's
we
so
are
many
we are
blue
blue heavy.
snipers. There's so many blue snipers. There's so much good blue tech, and yeah. So I'm less excited about him. So any other thoughts on the captain of either the British or Spanish
Armada?
Empire?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
with you saying that missed, possibly he's a sniper with the blind, kind of like a lassie with a mana down, except maybe he does a blind to 3. So like a he would
Drake.
then become like a Drake. I could see them doing that. I could see him being Misty, like a Misty, and
Mm-hmm.
being like a Drake.
Yep.
He could be a
Yep.
blue Drake. I could see that. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good theory right there. I like that.
And if they put the mist with him, then it would potentially make it stackable with Drake and Justice and June and Hu
Question:
Tao. And
you're thinking this is definitely for sure going to be legendary?
I I would be surprised if it's not. It's definitely not a rare. They put too much into the animation for it
Okay,
not to be
he's
rare.
definitely not a rare. If we're picking one of the two to be a legendary or epic, we both agree that I think that he would be the epic if there was going to be one. Correct?
Yeah, I think now my theory is that there's some hidden epics that they're not teasing us with.
Okay.
But they teased us with the two legendaries to fill those
Well,
two elemental gaps.
now I'm gonna kind of toot my horn there. Well, actually, let's take a step down history lane. When they tease skins, the emblems, and they tease Wonderland, and they teased the new Hero Academy or new buildings, right? You remember the Wonderland heroes and how it was a Flamingo, Queen of Hearts, and Captain D, and nobody knew who Captain D was, and Captain D turned
Yep.
out being a epic.
Yep.
I think in actually if you look at the picture, they're in the exact order that they were in when they did the Wonderland release. Queen of Diamond or Queen of Hearts was actually on the left and Captain D was on the right,
and Captain D was on the right.
And Captain D was an epic. And in this situation, it's the same setup
Hmm.
where we think Calypso. I'm gonna call her Calypso because I bet you it's gonna be Calypta, Calypsa, Calypso something. I guarantee you that's probably
Something
gonna be
along
it.
those lines, like
Yeah.
Ursina's Ursula. We
Left,
all
right,
know it.
yeah, right. Something along those lines. I get it. You know, you don't want to get sued from somebody else creating something. I get it. Um, but I would say if you go down history lane, unless they switch it up on us, with that picture in mind and that happening before, I would think the she would be the 5 star and he would be the 4 star. Um, and maybe they are not. Maybe they are teasing the other legendary they're at. I think 2 heroes is enough personally. I don't. I personally don't want them to dabble into the rare game on events. Though it would be nice to have six. No, excuse me. That would make it 7 per event. That would be pretty cool. It might make people come back and actually pull a little bit more for them. So I can see where they're going with that.
Yeah. So let's get into Calypso, as
Ooh,
we're gonna call her for now. Because
yes.
guys, as far as we know, this isn't even released in beta yet.
No, we don't know. We
So
have not seen any of this. I have not got
I
any
I I have
spoilers or
not gotten.
friends. Nothing.
No, neither of us have, and we have different sources. We both have different sources in beta, and
Yes,
neither
we
of us
do.
have gotten something about this. So, um, all right, Calypso.
Ooh.
Can I give my first idea?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, my first idea for her, because she's wearing purple.
Right.
Calypso's a voodoo lady, but she has the yellow snake,
She does have the yellow snake.
and she has some gold jewelry and trim and stuff.
Yes.
My first thought when I saw her was that she's going to be our 5 star jackal, um, yellow for a purple for the yellow shield down.
Okay.
Um, but like Frida or Athena or Falcon that hits 3, so she can be used for raids and for Titans.
Okay. I can see that.
So that's my first assumption, because she is rocking that purple,
So that's good in
which
that
means
purple.
that which means that she might have some voodoo power over purple.
Yeah. Yeah, she could. She could have some voodoo power over
So
purple.
I could see that. I don't think that she would be a purple with a yellow shield down unless they made her a single hitter, because we already have Panther, and with all these heroes that they've been releasing over the last few months have been directed towards combating those, setting us up to be able to handle the 13, 14 star Titans. Jackal's not necessarily viable against those Titans.
Correct.
You can use him once, and unless you're using tornadoes and time stops, he's going to die.
Correct.
So this would fill that gap to make the player base happy, and would definitely turn having an elemental down would definitely turn pirates into a very sought after banner for the
Yeah.
entire player base.
Yes, it would. That's very true.
So um, that's my initial thought when I see her. I have some other fun thoughts, but let's get into your thoughts on her.
Okay, when I first saw her with the snake, and I was thinking to myself, okay, a snake, it's a constrictor. Clearly, it's a albino. If I had a just a theory, it's albino, either ball python or
Bur- Bur-
albino
Burmese python. It's a albino Burmese python.
albino Burmese python. Or I was gonna
Yeah,
say albino baby. What's the longer one? Not an anaconda. Um,
Burmese pythons.
Okay. Well, they get really long. And so I'm thinking the length of the snake would make her hit all. So I'm thinking a hit all. And then I'm thinking, who would they reverse to make her? And I'm thinking Anzog. I think she's a reverse Anzog is my first theory. I think she hits all, but instead of healing, she hits all and mana ups. So she hits all and you
Hmm.
get a mana up immediately versus like overtime or like a mount based off this. The more heroes you have up, maybe the less mana you get, and the more or the less heroes, or yeah, maybe the same way. So the more heroes you have up, the more mana you get, and the less the heroes are up, the less mana you get. And that kind of made sense to me. Little simple, two ability special. would be really nice to work with Anzog actually, and actually be really complementary to Yellow. Um, some of your big yellows, like imagine if that was the case with the Onatel, imagine if that was the case with your Vivica or even your Justice for classics, and then with her mana, if she went off with a Rainveer, and he can go ahead and get into his ability real faster, and using him as a flank or using him at a 4 or 1 or 5 spot as a wing. Um, Another thing is that another theory of mine was she's voodoo, so like kind of like a voodoo esque. Um, and thinking about Calypso, I was thinking about maybe she's our first tornado hero, because it has something to do with water. So if she's our first tornado hero to where she moves the entire board around, that
Hmm.
would make a lot of sense based off what we saw in the movie, based off voodoo, kind of a magic like random board movement, just like a tornado. And so from the tornado, actually giving us mana back that way, and that would be fine with me too. I would love that. That would be
Hmm.
awesome. Um,
All right.
yeah.
So really quick, this is something I saved for the podcast. I didn't blow your mind with it yet.
Okay.
So we have tornadoes.
Okay.
We're gonna have hurricanes.
Right.
What we know about Calypso is she can conjure cyclones.
Yes.
So she's a slow mana,
Okay.
and she does a cyclone where after every turn the board reshuffles for 3 or 4 turns.
Hmm. Do you think that would be a buff or a debuff?
It could go either way,
So
but
like she would be our yellow gambler, which we're
she would
missing.
be a
We
gambler
didn't even talk
because
about that. Wow.
so so she could be a gambler. I would like to see something like that. It doesn't necessarily affect your mana like a tornado,
Okay.
but you're going to get 3 shuffles in a row. And here's why I would like to see that. That would be so legit for events.
Yeah. I think
When you're playing a level, 40 to 100 times, having that shuffle
make it
going
interesting.
off after every turn is going to add to it. Why? Because if you want to in the legendary event, if you want to place top, you tend to use tornadoes.
Yeah.
Why? Because they add mana and they reshuffle a board into your favor sometimes.
Yeah, they do.
So I could, that's huge theory. That's off the wall type of theory, but name it cyclone. Calypso can conjure those, and you go with that.
Yeah,
Um, my other theory was she has the boa.
she
So
does.
again, a slow mana hero. I think she's going to be slow mana. I just see her that way,
Okay.
because she's a voodoo witch lady, so she's going to be very methodical.
Right.
You know, her Calypso's rise back to power, had to be very methodical and a lot of mind games and long term thinking. So I just see her as slow.
Okay.
Um, which would make her good for, of course, the rush attack tournaments if she were slow. Um, but I see, since she has a boa constrictor, I could also see kind of like a time stop element to where all heroes are stopped for like 3 turns.
Yeah. And so the stop might affect would the stop affect hit? So like in other words, they don't hit for 3 turns? Like
So essentially, it's like a time stop on all heroes, but they don't. Or she could do the voodoo power and steal their mana and stop them for like 2 or 3 turns.
no, if
So
she's a
it's
time stop, if she's any type of the last three abilities we talked about, if she's a time stop, if she's a tornado, if she's a hurricane, if she's a what'd you call it, a cyclone, any one of those would be a complete game changer and complete meta changer. You're talking about possibly
and
making the best hero in the game, you know, pretty
mhm.
pretty soon. Um,
But
another
what makes most sense to me is the shield down,
Yeah, I was gonna
the
say the
elemental
last
shield
one
down
is that we thought that she would be the yellow shield down because yellow doesn't have a shield down. Um,
for 5 star.
for 5 star, and that well, I don't think well they have it. No, yellow doesn't have a
Jackal,
shield down.
Jackal.
No, yellow has a. Oh yeah, excuse me, yellow shield down. I'm thinking a defensive down. Sorry, yellow
Yeah, no,
defensive
no.
down. That would be my final theory on her. Would be
Yeah, I could see defensive down,
yeah.
but I think at this point for the Pirates banner, it it needs to be something big.
Another thing big for them, we know that Yellow has blind, and that's kind of their. I guess that's considered their dot, but she could also have a dot as well. Um, I don't know what that would look like, or maybe like she gets like a hex, or because. And the reason we thought of another dot for Yellow too, one of them getting another dot, is because if you take the core of the pirates, Sargoso, Lady Locke, and Peters, they all do a debuff to the enemy team. So it would make sense
Hmm.
that she does some type of debuff to the enemy team, and that's where the defensive down kind of came into my head. Or they add like a mana dot, or like some type of dot like Sargoso's or Lady Locke's. Um, and maybe the dot does more than one thing, or maybe the dot like siphons something else in health, or maybe the dot, you know, maybe the dot sets up for a stronger tile damage than her. If the dot
Hmm.
stays on you 3 times, her attack goes double, or something along those lines, or like a killable dot or not dispellable. It'd be very interesting to see if these characters get that if they get that non-dispellable or dispellable um, spellable element to their special, because that was a big thing that all the pirates are lackluster that they really improved upon going forward, is that
Yeah,
Sargoso, Lady Locke, and even Peters, if you take an antidote, we're in good shape. We're back in the game. Um,
yeah. If you bring a cleanser like Viv or anyone like that, Sabina or Rigardo, excuse me, yeah, you're going to be able to work around that.
do you think that if one of these characters gets that dispellable component, non-dispellable component to their team, are they also revamping pirates to update them like they did some of the season one heroes?
Hmm, that's a really good question. Um, I don't I don't see a buff coming for the other pirates.
Okay.
I don't see it.
That
I
would put
mean,
some icing on the cake, though.
it would definitely put icing on the cake. Um, but I think that those changes would need to be very drastic, and I don't see them making that drastic of changes to their current meta.
Right.
And I think that what we have from the pirates is what we have, and um, we should be excited for these updates. Now, you spoke on, if these two are definitely 5 stars, that fills in the elemental gaps for their 5 star roster on that banner.
Right.
So, are they going to fill the other gaps for the epic?
So, in other words, the banner would be 10.
Yes.
Wow.
That's
That's a big
at this
banner.
point.
That would be the biggest
That,
banner we have so far.
but they've been able to run these banners for about 2 years.
Right.
That would give them another 2 years of running those banners without needing to make any modifications easily.
Wow. Would you rather these banners go to 10, or would you rather them introduce a banner per month? Like, so we only have 1 year to get these six, once a year to get these six, or I guess it would be, yeah, once a year. Once we know for a fact July would be Pirates from here on going forward, and then
Mm-hmm.
August would
Mm-hmm.
be Tal Talk, and then they slowly
Mm-hmm.
start to roll out like a brand new Wonderland. Like we had a theory that where season one was Poseidon and it's in the sea, to where
Mm-hmm.
they go up in the clouds for Zeus for season three. What if they bring in the
Yeah.
Greek gods for season three, or for an event,
Uh-huh.
versus it being season three?
Okay.
Would you rather have a core six, and they go ahead and cover the rest of the elements for that event, and then add another six heroes for new events going on to 12 to conclude a whole year?
All right. So you kind of touched on one of my thoughts that I hadn't given to you yet.
Okay.
These banners are in rotation. These events are in rotation every 5 months. It
Right.
comes up again. I could see them if they added 5 new heroes
Hmm.
to where we have a whole new layout for that event with the new hero bosses, and then the next one goes to the other ones. I could see them doing that to where each event twice a year and two events three times a year
Okay.
are going to be different bosses.
So it wouldn't be.
So it'd be like the core five, or with the new five on the other one. So this event, we don't even, they have them all on the banner, but as far as in the actual event, maybe they switch up all the bosses and it's just all the new heroes.
What if it just extends the event we currently have at 10 to 15?
20,
15.
15, 20.
15 or 20.
That would be interesting. Now again, that's just theory, and I'm not saying that's my number one theory. I only see them releasing the two 5 stars. I don't see them spreading it out, because then they would have a banner still up every year that no one's going to pull on. That would be the core banner of the pirates. So I don't see him spreading out the banners, to where it'd be like, oh, the five new ones, if they do have five new ones, and then the five old ones on the next banner. But switching around the levels, to add in these new heroes, to change around the meta, to make it more interesting on the events, switching up the rewards to where you can get the new heroes on placing in those events, placing top in those events. I see that.
Okay.
You,
So,
you also have to remember. You also have to remember, the better the hero on the banner that they're giving out for number one spot,
hmm
the more money they're going to make, because these guys use gems to replay the levels
to get the
hundreds of
heroes.
times
Yeah.
to get that number one spot.
Yep.
So not only do they make money on the banners, they also make money from people to place top in the events.
Yeah.
Um, and having these new heroes up there with really, really good tech would just add to add to that profit margin that they're definitely not hitting on the Pirates event, is my opinion.
Okay. All right. So right now we have a 10 event max. If they increase the amount of the length of the event, that means they would have to increase the loot, because it would be that much harder to place because you're going
Uh,
that much deeper into your own
mhm.
items. So
Yeah.
if we're not replacing the board, so if, let's say we're sticking with the same loot, and let's say they stick with 10, are we getting rid of some of the double epics, or are we getting rid of some of the double, like for instance, you know how you'd go against Peter and Boomer. So you get rid of Peter and Boomer, and then you add a legendary there. And then let's say you were going against Peter and Sargoso. You get rid of Peter Sargoso, you add another legendary there. And then the last two boards is three in all five of them. So 5 on 5. Or is it going to go 3 and 3? Like Sargosa with
or
his old crew, Sargosa with his new
or
crew.
or the levels where there's only one or two, do they add
Add
two or
all
three?
two. Yeah, add two or
Do
three.
they add two more to make every level like three of the special bosses? That would definitely make the events much harder. It would make you use a lot more consumables, because they're going to be you're not going to be killing weak minions.
When that would also bring, I think, a bigger chance to their player base of people to get in those top 100s, top, it changes up who's in those tops, because you probably have people
Potentially.
that are ready. Yeah, potentially. You have people who are ready for the regular 10, but this throws a monkey wrench in a lot of people's plan now. And then we were talking about it. You prepare a month ahead for the next event. You don't prepare for this one. Like a week's time to get your hero up right now, that's great, and you'll probably get one or two for the rare and epic. But for as
Depending on
far as
your account.
right, depending on your account. But more than likely, the higher the more percentages towards people not getting that legendary are ready for this. Fortunately, I'm in the class where I could actually get a red legendary, two red legendaries ready for it, but I'm not prepared for it myself. I'm prepared for one. I'm not prepared for two. Um, and with that said, uh, how much of a change of meta, not knowing what the heroes do, not knowing where they're going to place or if they're going to extend the board, is that an effect on an account? Like for items, for hero selection, like potentially with the purple shield and having a yellow hero, you're coming into a event with non-use of purples on a yellow hero. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy.
So it's going to be really interesting to see how the meta on these events change. And the great thing that we can look forward to is that they're just going to add more to all the events here after this.
Right.
So, if you're like me and you haven't come close to clearing any of the banners, it's going to be a positive and a negative for accounts like mine. Negative because now when Guardians of Telcott adds more heroes, it's going to lower that drop rate for Panther.
Yeah.
For Knights, it's going to lower that drop rate for Arthur and for Gwen.
Right.
Um, so, I mean, I'm more worried. I would prefer an Arthur over a Gwen personally. I know that's going to light a lot of the chat on fire,
I get
but
it. Oh, I get it.
I'm not too worried about pulling a Gwen tank ever. If I pull her, sweet, I'll level her, but I'm not terribly worried about it.
Yeah.
Arthur, though, to replace Frida for Titans and to have another blue shield defense down for Alliance Wars to go up against all those gravy flanks and stuff.
Yeah.
To me, that makes more sense. But nonetheless, we're going to see more heroes for all these events coming out. And if you're kind of a newer player, you haven't seen too many of these banners, so it's gonna it's gonna be feel like it's coming quick, and oh, why they're adding so many new heroes. But for any long-term player, this is something that is needed.
And
And
when we talk about accounts like the Wells and talk about accounts like new players or players who don't are free to play or cheap to play, um, the nice thing about this is that now you can actually, because there's a lot of people that have done the go around. It's a lot of people that have the 50 plus 5 stars are like, listen, I could never level all these in a lifetime, so therefore I'm not pulling anymore. Well, you'll have that meta that they possibly are not going to get or not going to go after. Um, knowing what that meta is right now clearly is whatever. But even if you miss and get Sargosa or get Lady Locke and get Captain Kestrel, which we clown on a lot, but they're still solid heroes
I
compared
mean, I
to
mean,
who
yeah,
you can get. Like they do
if you're
something
if you're
completely
cheap
different. Yeah.
if you're cheap to play, free to play, any event hero, any hero of the month,
Right.
any seasonal hero, any season 2 hero, they're all going to come with higher base stats.
Right.
They're always going to be good for a cheap to play, free to play account, because how many legendaries are those guys sitting on that aren't season 1?
Right.
So yeah, we bash on them, but for those type of accounts, they're still really good heroes.
They are very good heroes.
They're really good heroes. So this should get us excited for Pirates again. And it's so funny because the last two episodes, the last two shows, we've just been, like you said, clowning on this Pirates banner.
Right.
And like Boomers or Peters is good. He has high tile damage and he silences, which is nice. He's good for events. Um, and if you couple him with Hansel and Merlin on a team for Alliance Wars, you're going to be controlling that whole fight.
Hansel, Myrtle, and don't
Uh,
forget Gretel. Don't. This is
and Gretel,
2019.
yeah,
Talk about women.
you can. Excuse me.
Talk about women. Don't leave
All
the
right,
women out. Okay, you don't leave the
all right.
women out. This is
Let's
a very open.
let's get back to Calypso then.
Yes.
That's the minority woman, so we're hitting on all the points right
Yes.
there.
Yes.
Um,
Power to all the women.
yes, yes. But yeah, I mean, this should get us excited, and I think that these two heroes that they're adding in, if there aren't any more, if it's just the two, I expect them to be legendary because they're gonna want the whales to wail out on this banner. They're gonna that, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is an epic for the blue guy. I
Hoping
see
it's
them
not.
wanting to.
Hoping it's not. Yeah.
I'm hoping it's not, and I see them wanting to. This is the banner that needs the most help, and I see them wanting to help it out the most. So for her, my top theory on her on Calypso, Calypsy, whatever they call her.
Right.
Um, she's probably I would say the smartest decision for SG to do would be for her to be a yellow shield down that hits 3 like a Frida, or even just an Arthur, even if she's still a single hit, but a yellow shield down that can help us combat 13 stars and not need to worry about Jackal trying to use Jackal.
You
I
know,
think that's
go ahead.
I think that's it. I just think that would be the smartest move of SG to sell this banner, something that would make the player base happy. It's a win-win situation for everyone.
Right,
That's usually SG likes to make win-win situations for everyone. They're a better mobile gaming company than most for that reason,
right.
and so that's what I predict for her.
So I was doing some quick review of the animation of the current Peters, Boomer, and Kestrel. If you guys actually have Boomer, Peter, and Kestrel, and that's the only three I have for the Pirates, Kestrel actually has only a red bandana and a red little scarf around his waist. Boomer actually is wearing a gold cloak veil like type thing across his chest, and Peter
Hmm.
absolutely only has green hair as far as like, and then making the green. So the voodoo lady having a yellow snake is kind of telling based off the other animations that she's probably going to be, I would assume, to be yellow, to probably more confirm or try to hope to have more of a theory on that. If you look at the previous animations of the characters, it just kind of makes sense that they would go that route. Boomer doesn't even have a purple beard, he has a blue beard. So like, or yeah, so he's got a gold cloak or shawl, whatever you want to call it, across his chest, and
Yeah.
he would look, if they had a different background, he probably would be a yellow. But so with her being purple, it kind of seems like they're going that path that she would be the opposite of what they're teasing it. It looks like she would be purple, but I believe she's gonna go yellow. I hope she goes yellow to complete it. Um,
Hmm.
oh man. So do you think, here's another question. Now that they threw out the two heroes and they slid that in there kind of on the slide and slick, do you think this update comes at the beginning of July to go ahead and put the heroes in the game, and that way they load out perfectly on that second week into the meta of the Pirates, and then they allow us to work on our Stronghold 21 and our update bases? Or do you think they try to do it in the week before?
No, no, I think that we're going to be getting. I think
Sorry, had to
they're gonna.
sneeze.
I think I, th- I think that they're gonna add the extra base building within the next week or two.
Okay. Okay.
Um, I think it's gonna be pretty soon because once they release as much information as they did, it's usually a week or two out from that update rolling out. Usually within the week.
Right.
Um, and I've been around for every update, so year one the updates came a little bit slower, not as big, but they have bigger staff, more funding now, of course, so they're able to roll out bigger and better updates quicker.
Okay.
So the speed of our updates is definitely increased
Okay.
since year one, since the first build. And like I said, they just have bigger teams now, so they're able to, give us all this great stuff. I said a couple episodes ago, I'm hands up. I'm excited. I don't care. They teased the crap out of us with some awesome stuff to look forward to. We knew these new event heroes were going to be coming out soon, but the way that they're doing it makes me really happy because, especially for you, because you were going to pull on pirates.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
how mad would you have been had you pulled on pirates and then after Wonderland they start releasing the other new event heroes and the next pirates has these like awesome heroes that they added to make the banner great.
I think because they had been teasing on so much other information, like the base, the skins, the emblems, the
Mhm.
Wonderland thing, and then like we knew all that was coming, and then they reintroduced the base coming, and then they dropped Cena and they dropped Muggy, and so we've got a couple of new heroes. Excuse me, I would have been super upset because instead of me having possibly getting four new heroes, I was only pulling for two. Well, that almost secures the hero of the month if I'm going after four heroes. Because that's a lot of pulls. Because
Mhm.
you're not going to get all four in the first pull. Everybody knows that. Even with my streaking and good luck or bad luck, don't have I don't have the means or the funds to get all four
The
possibly.
RNG is still not in your favor.
No, it's not. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I have fun and I do love it, and I will do my best. And I won't say I was going to clear pirates before because it's more obtainable, but now it's I will do my best to clear pirates because
Hmm.
that chance of 4 5 stars on one banner is insane. That's why I'm hoping that it's an epic in a 5 star versus being 2 5 stars because just the simple fact that RNG is even more insane. I'd rather try to get the 3 versus the 4. I know the
Hmm.
4 would be better for the money wise and the funding and all the other stuff, but with it being just 3, it's more obtainable as far as somebody who does spend quite a bit of money in this game and actually tries to go after the hero. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it
So
either way though. I'm with you. So, but I
yeah,
would have been upset if it wasn't the way it was supposed to be or wasn't like this.
y- yeah. And guys, if you're just joining us now, the breaking news is that Pirates is delayed a month to release these two new heroes, at least two new heroes, to the Pirates banner and to the event. And Wonderland is coming this weekend instead.
Yep.
Um, so, like we said, go get your reindeer if you're waiting for Sands. Unless you already, have some Wonderland heroes and you just want to hold out for the Sands, then keep holding out. But we were saying don't pull on Pirates, wait for the Sands. Now we're saying pull on Wonderland, and if you want to wait on the Sands, cool, doesn't matter. But this is a good banner to pull on to get your reindeer for sure.
It changes the game. That's for sure.
It changes the game.
It does.
So, all right, your final prediction for these two heroes. Now for our final thoughts.
Man. Um I believe the event's going to get extended between 12 and 15. I believe the reward will increase. They'll add emblems or um, add items because it's going to be item heavy as far as the event. I believe this might be the first event we see. If there's another legendary, we might actually go against 4 or 5 legendaries at the last board. And that's all I'm going to say about the event.
That'd be
Uh,
crazy.
I think it's going
That'd
to
be
happen.
crazy.
I think it's going to happen. They kind of hinted at it when they added when they I think they were testing the room. Honestly, let's back that up a little bit. I know it's gonna take a little bit longer, but 2 seconds. I think they've been testing the size of heroes on boards with emblems. Because look how they did Horkle. Look at the setup. Look at how much room is left when you have that last one. It was Vivica in the middle, Boral on the
Hmm.
right, and it was I think
Hmm.
somebody on the left. I can't think of his right off the top. I think Horkle maybe on the left. Whatever. Horkle's a huge hero. Boral's a midget, and Vivica's pretty average. If they put Sargoso in the middle and then put Sargoso to one side and make it four
Hmm.
heroes will actually fit on the board. I think they've been testing that for a while and try to see if we have enough room to do it and will it glitch the game out, will it phase it out, whatever. I can see that coming. Not to mention they kind of do it every day in raids. So imagine the heroes just going down to raid size and we have 5 of them. So that's what I'll say
Yeah.
about the event. Um,
Yeah.
going forward with the heroes, I think your girl's definitely going to be yellow. I think she's going to be a yellow hit all. Shield down makes sense. Defensive down makes sense. If she does anything special, I believe the special is going to go towards mana. Um, Yellow does take away mana, but they've never really given mana besides Onatel. Um, Giving mana to the yellow on a 5 star level would make yellow a big would really boost them. I think yellow is the biggest lackluster element we have. Anything they do to this chick should be something to move in the direction of increasing the yellow value of heroes. So I
Yeah.
hope she's a team player. I hope she buffs her crew and possibly debuffs the enemy crew and does either damage or heals. Going on to the admiral, captain, lieutenant, or whatever the scallywag of the boat. I believe he's going to come out 4 star. I believe he's either going to be some type of play at a dot. Um, that dot could be the miss because kind of his hair as being like a miss tile or a miss special, and it being very short, quick, and fast, like kind of like Captain D-esque. So he'll be a fast, possibly sniper, possibly somewhat dot, but it's not going to be your typical dot of defensive down, offensive down, or shield down. I believe it's going to be a unique dot, similar to the cat, and it could be, it could be something to where he does a red defensive down if he only hits reds like the cat is, to where the cat poisons all, shuffles the board, and only defensive down yellow. So it could be like a hidden special in his, to where he hits
Hmm.
somebody, does something, but if he's hitting his certain element that he goes strong against, he does something increasingly to them only. So similar to the chain, which is the hero of the months do now, where it helps their element, where he decreases the opposite element like they did cat, and I can see that happening. And that'll
Hmm.
be my final thoughts on it. I believe it's only going to be 6 heroes total. I'm hoping for one epic, one legendary. I'm out.
All all right. So my final thoughts on the event. I say that they keep it at 10 levels, but they mix in the new heroes into the current levels.
Okay.
That'll change the meta a little bit on the events, possibly. Um, I also think that she will be like, she could either be like a panther where she's fast,
Okay.
or but I see slow to average. If she's average, I think that she would be a triple yellow shield down against the enemy, like a Frida,
Okay.
um, along with some kind of other tech, whether she steals mana or something of that sort. Um, with him, I see him as fast, snipery. Whether he's a full sniper or a 400%, he's still going to have a good hit. I see him with high tile damage, low defense around 650, average HP 1250 to 1350, 772-ish power. I think she's going to be closer to that 773 to 775 base power.
Okay.
Um, and he's either going to be like a independent contract. Either way, he's kind of an independent contractor,
Right.
a
Okay.
repost for himself, or he's going to do a freeze or like a ice burn.
So kind of like Samoto
Or
esque, like you know what I'm talking about, like Samoto esque.
yeah, kind of,
Okay.
yeah, kind of like Somitomo,
Sumitomo.
kind of
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that independent contractor.
Hmm.
I see him more snipery with a repost, but him having a freeze or a ice burn or like a mist
Okay.
to blind people would be really cool.
Yeah.
Um, but I see him as a sniper with a repost.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and with his low defense, that necessarily wouldn't be a bad thing because if someone comes in and snipes him, um, he's going to take a big hit because his defense would be low, and so that riposte is going to be a higher, 115 to 130% reflect.
Right.
So kind of like Elena. Elena has lower defense, so if you shoot her and her riposte is up, it's gonna do more damage than it would with someone with higher defense.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
So those are my predictions. But the great thing about this, guys, 90% of this episode is all theory because, as far as we know, this isn't even in beta.
Right.
So hopefully, I'll be in beta before it's released. I should be getting a beta soon. So hopefully, I'm in beta before it's released into beta, or as it's released into beta, and I'll be able to
Mess around.
let us know directly what's going on behind the scenes. I think that's what I I've had a beta invite for a while and I never took it because I didn't want to take someone else's beta spot knowing that I couldn't put in the time because I was beta testing two other games and running tournaments for another game at the time.
Right.
So, but now with the podcast, I think it's for you guys listening, I think it's important that me or Killer, one of us, be in beta to get the better information once it's released.
Yeah. I'd agree
So,
with that. I wish it could be me. I just school and some other stuff, and dad is busy as well, guys. So I mean, I get it. Like, and also we're keeping up with our own accounts, and we're keeping up with a top tier alliance. Number one going to, I don't know, we float around 30, 40s every now and then. So, you streaking 12 stars, staying on top of wars and everything like that, and being current and relevant for you guys is work. So,
yeah, I mean that's why my content, like, I was getting back into the rhythm, and then like we started the podcast, and I love this more than even editing videos. This is what I've always wanted to do with the game, and so I try to put in a lot of study into it into the episodes before we go live.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys understand that from my channel. I have to pick where my time goes to keep
Yep.
up with my game, to keep up with the meta, to keep up with the podcast, which I think is more important than even my own channel.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
that's my thoughts on it. And me and Killa take this seriously, and we have a really good time getting this information out to you, getting sharing these theories. And one of these days, one of our theories is going to pop.
Um. You want to go ahead and hit on it? I think our theories are popping, but will yet to be discovered.
No,
That's all I'm saying.
no, we'll see what happens. But I
Yeah.
mean, okay, let's look at it. Before Frida came out, a few months before that, what was I telling you? They need a blue triple hitter like Panther with a shield down.
Yep.
They need a yellow, you know, they need a yellow 4-star healer. So we'll see what we get. They need a yellow 4-star with a regular defense down. They need stuff like that. Because we pick apart the holes in the game to find what meta they're missing,
Yeah.
and that's we've gotten it right a few times before we started the
Yeah.
podcast.
And I get stuck on my theories of what I want. I tend to focus on what is completely out of sync. And that dad tends to think of the way the game is working. So like I'm thinking, yo, they need a yellow shield down, they need a yellow 4-star healer. I'll be stuck on that for a while. That dad will be like, okay, yeah, that's true, but what they do have is this, that, third, and third, and so that's why it gels together. And guys, we spend countless, I'd say, hours on the phone talking to each other, proving or disproving these theories with each other. So it's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? It's a
Prep.
lot. No, 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 no. It's a lot of thought and a lot of time spent off. This is an hour stream. Like we just did an hour. Let me tell you something. We've done this stream between us 4 times, or twice today, just getting this ready for this. So it's a lot of theory. It's a lot of thought provoking. It's definitely a challenge to keep up with his thoughts and his crafting and like how he goes in the game, how he thinks about the game. And then I don't know if it's the same for him, but I know it's amazing like working with someone who's ahead of you in a game, and then at the same time count does not have many 5 stars, but does better than you on average. So it's fun. It's fun. It's fun.
Oh,
Oh
I
man.
appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
And
man.
it's nice because you have the heroes for the science, so I get to explore, your
Yep.
meta and learn things from you as well. Because there's only so much without having a hero that I can learn. I can delve really, really deep into it because I am very analytical. It's what I do for a living. So, but without actually playing on the offensive end, it's hard to give a precise opinion. And Killa having so many of the banners cleared out helps, and we also get input from other players and stuff that
Absolutely.
and everything. I like to take input from other players. I read the forums, daily.
Yep.
Um, I read the forums daily to see what kind of topics the majority players are talking about. But I mean, our podcast, we are like the biggest topic discussion. So we want to thank you guys for joining in on the podcast. I try to say this, but I usually don't say this for the videos. But me and Killa do want to make sponsors for our podcast.
Yep.
Um, and so hitting that like button, subscribing to Killa's channel really, really helps that out, guys. It helps us to where down the line we can make even better content and stuff like that if we have sponsors. So hitting that like button really does help me chase down those sponsorships for our podcast.
Yep. And with that said, guys, we're gonna sign out here. Thank you guys all for coming in. I appreciate it. And that concludes the Stronghold episode 5. Killa out, and catch you guys later. Peace.